Okay, so here we're going to start live coding the solution for the routing sprint. Pretty much have an empty create React app repository here called movies, and we're gonna just start, I guess. So first off, here we are in the index.js. Obviously, we need to import React inside the index. What else are we gonna need? We're gonna need React DOM from React DOM, I believe. We're going to need provider. From React Redux. And then we are going to need create store for sure. And then we're also using Redux promise, so we'll need apply middleware. Those are from Redux. We need React promise. Redux promise. Okay. And obviously, you know, when you're coding all this out, you don't like just list all the imports. These are just ones off the top of my head that I know we'll need in this particular file. And of course, you know, when we need to add more, then you come back and add more. So it's not like you list them all out in one go. Okay, we need to plug in the middleware. So that would be create store is what we typically call it. Apply middleware with Redux promise. Create the create store function. And then call React DOM render. First thing we give it is provider, which will wrap our, we'll need our app. Which we have not written yet, but we'll get there. Pass to the store. Don't close that. Here we'll pass in app. Let's see. Let's close the provider for now. Come on. Get element by ID. Root should do it. Oh, right, this is the routing one. So we're gonna need routing stuff. So we need router from React router. Looks like it's called browser router. And then route from React router. Looks like, okay. No, it's called React router DOM. And then, right, so we're gonna have this inside of browser router. Close this one. And then inside here is where we would start dropping in all of our different routes. So we'll have a /route, and this would be like the main one. So our app would actually go here. Let's make sure these are exact. That would be helpful. And then we need movies. And this one would be the movies component, whatever we want to call it. No, not exact. If we want path equal movies/ID. And then this one will be the movie details. So let's get a terminal over here. Oh, we're gonna need two because there's the server. So yeah, let's just start the server and we'll just leave that running. Wait, what did I do? Let's redo this. Okay. So we can npm start this. Okay. We'll leave the index there for now. Let's move on to app. Okay. See, we need render method. And then, okay, let's do add in a link here. Goes to movies. Yeah, so this will just be a link. We'll click on this, and then that will take us to the movies route. And then movies route is this movies component. So let's add that. Okay. Okay. So the movies component is going to be the list of the movie titles. So basically a bunch of different links to all of our movie titles, and then we'll click on those. And then that will take us, open up the movie details page for each of those selected movies. And so this is going to be a list. Then this one will receive movies inside of its props, like the movie titles or the different, movie titles. So what will we need here then is we'll need to map over a bunch of links. Yeah, so we'll get the movies in here as props, and then we'll map over those and dump those into a bunch of different links. So mapping over that. One, two. And then we're going to have this in a link here. This one will be linking to the /movies/ID. So we'll do movies, so movie.id. Link to that, close that. No, we need the link text. This one will be the movie's title. Okay. So we'll need to import link from React router DOM. Okay. Is there anything else that this would need? Oh yeah, this is going to need to, we'll have this component actually fetch the movies. And so the best way to do that in this case is probably to do that inside of a component did mount. So that with this props.getMovies. So those get dropped in as props. And then so we'll need to map state to props. State.movies. And then export default, we call connect here. Pass in map state to props as well as the get movies, I believe. Yep. So then we need to import get movies from actions as well as import connect from React Redux. Okay, I think that should do it for this component. Let's start our actions. So here we have, so far we have a single get movies action. So we'll need that one for sure. Get movies, which I don't think will take in any parameters. This one will do set up the promise. What is the route called in the server? Is just get movies. Okay, so this is the route here that we'll be hitting. So make sure that matches up inside of the Axios call. Let's promise here return. Type will be get movies. Payload will be the promise. Oops. So here we'll need to export const the get movies action type, and then we also need to import Axios. Okay, so it looks good for our actions. Let's start a reducer. So let's do, we need to import the action, add get movies action. Let's see, export default movies reducer, let's say, which will take in our initial state action, switch on action.type, and then handle the get movies case. Then here will just be return action payload.data. Okay. And then we'll need to call the create root reducer. Let's see, whatever that's called, combine reducers. Redux, and then combine reducers. This will be our movies reducer. So then we'll pass it. Movies reducer. And then we might have more later. Let's just leave that there for now. And then we need to export this one so that our, whatever it's called here, is it called here? Oh, okay. Probably we'll need to add this here because provider needs to take in our, create store with middleware needs our reducer. So we'll import reducer. Right, need to pass this here, I think. Okay, so start on our reducer. We have a movies component. So what else do we need? Okay, so when we have an app component of movies, and then we need movie details. Okay, movie details then is movie details is used like it's the page that gets in a single movie, a single movie's details, and then we need to basically render those out. So let's just say what needs to render is, so let's say it'll get a movie from props, and inside this H1 will just render the title. And then we can do something like director there was Metascore on it. Let's see. Metascore stars director ID. Okay. Where was that? Movie details. Metascore stars. Okay. So render those out, and then we need to ensure that it actually gets these as props. So I think we will want we'll need a new action in this case. We'll need a, when the user actually clicks on the link, we need to have it so that they click on that link, and then Redux will go kick into the flow, so that'll kick off a new action into reducers, and then the store will basically feed in that additional information back down to the application so we can render all this stuff out. Because right now, it's only returning oh, hold on. Okay, so without getting all the movie, we're getting all the movie data. Let's see. So this we need to do. So yeah, we need to click on the link and basically, okay, so we need to set the selected movie, because when we're routing, right? So right now when we're routing, we do /movies/ and then the movie's ID. So we need to set the movies, we just set the routing so that when we hit /movie/ at like 0, for example, then that'll drop in that particular movie. That'll be the, so state will basically keep track of our array of movies, and then there'll be a separate selected movie field, for example. That'll just be the one movie that we have, whose link that we've clicked on. And then it'll store that one in state. So in actions, that would be something like select movie. This one will require an ID of some sort. Let's take a look at our server. Okay, movies ID, movies filter movie ID toString. Okay, so if we give this particular, if we hit this route and then hand it a movie ID, then it'll return us just that specific movie instead of the entire array of movies. I think this is how we're meant to do it, although I'm sure there's also some other way you could finagle it such that because you're given the entire array of movies, maybe you could like you could probably do that all on the front end then without having to access this movie/ID route, because you have the entire array of all these movies just in the front end as props somewhere at that point. But we'll utilize this route because that's probably how we're supposed to handle it. So we want to hit here, we drop in the ID that we got. And then we need to change these to backticks for handling handling strings like that. movie. Okay. So that's the action for that one. And then if we go to reducers, get movies. Okay, so select movie. Let me see. Okay. Let's try that. And then in movie details. So here's where we'll call the fetch that set movie action. So right as this component loads, we'll go and fetch that data from the server. Pretty much just like how the other movies component did get movies. Select movie. And then we'll access the URL ID param inside of match dot it was props match params dot ID. Excuse me. Okay. So now we're calling select movie. So that means that we'll need connect. React Redux, and then we'll also need the associated action. So we'll need a. Do we need a map state to props function here? Yeah, we do. So kind of like what I was saying earlier, there's going to be inside of state, there's going to be state.movies here, which is going to be an array of movies. And then, so this one's going to be, this one here is an array of all the movies. And then here in, there's going to be an additional selected movie, which is state.selected movie, which is just going to be a single movie item that represents the current movie that we've selected right now. Oops. Side of return. And then yeah, we have connect. And then here pass in map state props as well as select movie. Okay, I think that will be good for this. Let's see. Inside index.js. Okay, so now in index.js, we need to hook these components up. So we need to import those. Let's see if that works. Error in source index.js module not found. Components movies. Oh. Import Axios export const unexpected token inside of actions. Export const. Oh, right. You have to do that. See if that works. Module not found. Aaron's source index.js. What did they not find? Movies / src. So that is also export default root reducer. Only one default export allowed per module. Oh, okay. Reducers. Here I'm doing export. Oh, okay. I guess we don't actually need to export this. Let's do that. Warning, your render method should have return statement in movie details. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Okay, here's the console. A router may only have one child element. Ah, okay. So we can't have all of these different routes here. Let's just throw these all in the div. That work? Okay, movies. Oh, here we go. And then we get to our, oh, that didn't work. Okay. So we have our list here. Let's see, it's getting errors in, looks like movie details. So first thing I typically do when I see that there are errors inside of a component, and it looks like they're related to props, so I would just console log the props that's getting and see what happens. Match. Selected movie is undefined. Okay. Oh, right. So it should be, it should be called selected movie. Because that's what we called it in the map state to props function. Okay, but even then, I don't think that's going to fix our problem. Right now, it's getting undefined for that particular prop. Okay. Let's see. I don't think you added to the root reducer. Ah, okay. I guess in that case, we're going to need us to put this inside of a separate reducer. I think that's what will need to happen. Okay, yeah. So now this inside of the first argument for its state, it will need it'll just be the field inside of state for selected movie. And then I guess we can initialize it to null, or maybe let's do empty object. Good catch, Josh. So let's move this over from the reducer we have above, but I think it'll pretty much just do the same thing. So translate to movie. Okay, and then select a movie reducer. Let's throw that in there and then get rid of these lines. Okay. Cool, now we're no longer getting errors. Oh, there we go. Now movie details is working. Go to 1. We get Star Wars. Okay, so this stars string here is a little weird, is a little wonky. Let's fix that real quick. Also, let's add these as well, so we know what we're looking at for each of the fields. Metascore, and then this one was stars. Okay, so this stars is just a string. Let's see what it is in props. Okay, so it's an array of strings. So what we can do is we can map over this, and maybe we could do something like just append a comma and a space at the end of all of these so they're more readable. So let's do, why is it not? Why is there no stars at the front here? That's kind of weird. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what I was thinking is we can do something like, let's see if this works. I think we can do star, and then we'll just add comma there. No, it doesn't want the semicolon. What if we do this? Will this do what I think it'll do? Oh, come on. Isn't this a... Let's see. I think I'm just missing a paren somewhere. That's probably what's going on. I'm doing a arrow, so the return should already be happening. So I'm doing an arrow without brackets. Oh, I think, I'm missing a, there we go. That was what I was missing. Oh, can recovery map of undefined. Why is that? Not selected movie. Selected movie. Oh, now it is not getting anything. Select a movie object, but it is what? That's interesting. Stars, just because I added that, all of a sudden. see. If I just quickly undo everything I just did. It's really strange that this would cause that to break so that the object is not getting anything. If we just go back to here, what happens? Okay, interesting. Try to change to will mount. Okay, sure, let's try that. So let's put this all back, because I think this should work. Add that in, and then will mount. Still doing the same thing. Okay, so something I'm noticing is when we take this out. So if we go back one more time, let's show you guys something that I'm seeing. So we go back to just here. There are two console logs happening. So there's this first one here, selected movie. Okay, so this is where it's getting caught on. So it gets to this one first, but then there's nothing inside of, there's no selected, there's no stars field. Okay, yeah, so it's getting to this first console log here. Well, it's getting to this first render, and there's nothing inside this selected movie object. And so it's coming to here to try to map onto it, and there's nothing there. And that's why it returns this cannot return map of undefined. And then what happens is then it comes around a second time and re-renders, and now it's populated. So yeah, that possibly, but I don't think that'll fix our issue because we would still be trying to call a map on undefined, because in this selected movie object, stars is undefined. So Alan has a good suggestion. I think we can just do some kind of dumb little hack, like if we do or just return empty div. And then let's add this back in and see if this works. So now this is basically going to circumvent the first time where there's nothing in it. So it'll get around there and then just return empty div. And then only when we actually have something inside the selected movie prop, then we'll go ahead and execute this part here. Still, oh man. No. Oh, I think it was they gave me an empty object. So what if I did, wait, does this work? No. Man. Can't we probably select movie of undefined? Oh. Still. Why is cutting? Use length. Okay. Sure. Selected this to without. Sure, let's try that. Still no. Because it's not null, is empty. That's true. Return movie.length. I guess we could do something like this doesn't really seem to be doing much. Let's see one more time. Oh, I took out the console log. Again, here they give us, it is an object, so it's not null, but there's nothing in it. Is there some way to check for that an object is empty? I'm not sure. I guess we could do object keys or values or elements. Entries. Turns an array of a given method's unenumerable properties. So what if we did, let's do console log let's do that. Select and move.entries is not a function. Object.entries. Is it not considered an object? Selected movie. Let's see, what if we did, let's check the type of object. So it is an object in this case, even though there's nothing in it. It's not context undefined. Then why is it we can't call select movie.entries on it? What if we tried keys? Oh, it's, oh, okay, sorry. I see, my bad. So we have to do object keys of this prop selected movie. This was cleared. Refresh. Still unexpected token. Stars. What do I do now? Oh. Okay. So I think we can then do, yeah, let's try this. If
you could check directly the length of the object.
Yeah. Object entries of, let's just do keys. Keys of stop props selected movie. Turn empty divs. Okay, awesome. There we go. That's probably too much trouble for what it was actually worth, but hopefully you all learned something there. So yeah, what this line is doing is we're checking the keys of the selected movie prop object, checking the length of, because object.keys returns an array of all the keys inside the object that you pass it. And so if there's no keys in it, then the length of that array would be 0. And so we're just checking to see if it has any keys. To circumvent that case where the first time it was going around and rendering, it was passing in the selected movie object with nothing in it. Okay, so that is the solution, not including the extra credit. Does anyone want to? Sorry, I haven't been checking Slack at all because live coding will do that for you. Can I see? Does anyone want me to go ahead and implement the extra credit? Let's just say. And then you can do a check or an X to indicate whether you want to see the extra credit or not on the message. Check.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Just to add something, the explaining for what happened can be found in the concept of higher order component.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is the approach of the connect, recreating a component that will create a new component that connects to React. So if anybody wants to understand a little bit better why, here is a simple, not exactly simple explanation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me post this in the Slack. I mean, it's in the chat as well, in the Zoom chat, but we'll post this in the Slack again real quick. And it looks like everybody wants me to do the extra credit because you all are overachievers. Okay. Alrighty. So, okay. For the extra credit, that was asking us to basically add in a new page, basically a new route. So it would be like new movie, and that would take us to like a new input page, basically, where we can add in a new movie to our server, pretty much like what we did in the Ajax lecture, the Ajax sprint, where you had a add friend route. So here, basically, this is the same thing. We're adding a new route. But the only difference here is we're adding a new route that takes us to a new page to perform the inputting. And so that's the only difference between here and what we did in the that friends list sprint. So here's the new movie route. Okay, it does checks for ID if it's not defined and then pushes. Okay, simple enough. So here, let's add in a new component, new movie form, let's call it. Let's forget component. Export default movie form. Okay. So I think we'll need new actions associated with this, but the form itself will also need a bunch of, we'll need some state to handle inputs. So we needed ID, we need title, director, Metascore, and then stars, which I think here can just be an array. Okay, so I think that's all we need on the state, because these are all the different input fields we'll need to be keeping track of. Oops. here in the render, we'll return. Let's do, here we'll need a bunch of inputs. So let's see, value, this will be the first one. This can be ID, oops, we want this.state ID. On change, we'll do a this.handle ID change. And then let's add in a little placeholder. Title. Keep doing that. Subliminally text title, subliminally typed out pho. I must be getting hungry. Metascore. Just call it score change. Then stars. Whew. Okay, a lot of typing. Button on click. This will be a submit new movie. This will be the add new movie button. I think that should be good. And now we have to go and add all of these functions. Handle ID change. This one will, oops. Handle director change. Let's just copy paste these. So I don't have to type it all out. Oh, come on. Oh man, there we go. Title. Let me just do that one more time. Okay. Then we have stars. No, let's do. So we have ID, title, director, score. Or it was called Metascore. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that should be all of them. And then we need the submit new movie function. So we'll call prevent default here. And this prevents the, typically when you click on a button without calling e.prevent default, then clicking on the button will refresh the entire page. And so calling e.prevent default prevents the default behavior on the button. So it'll just click and then execute whatever function you're telling it to execute and nothing more. Here we want, we need to construct a new movie. So we can just do this dot state. So we'll just get a copy of the state object because we just need everything in there. And then we need to do a this dot props dot add, let's just call it add movie with new movie, and then set state to be empty again. Director stars. Metascore. Okay. So we need to connect this component up with add movie. So we're going to need to do add movie from actions. We're going to need connect. I think that would do it. Yeah, okay, so we don't need a map state to props function because this component doesn't access the state object at all, since all it does is it just posts a new movie object. So we don't need a map state to props function. We just need connect. To give it access to the add movie action creator. I think that'll do it. Let's just see if it's got new movie. So that looks okay. Nope, apparently not. Why is it? Oh, right, I didn't add it to the. Yep, need a map and a route, exactly. Called a new movie form. Let's make sure let's do exact, and then that's all right. Okay, so now it should be wired up. Okay, cool. So we have all our input boxes. Looks about right. We haven't actually added in the associated actions and reducers yet. So let's do that. This was add movie. Takes in a new movie object. Posts to HTTP new movie. Okay. Why is it? Why is my text editor making it look funny? Oh, that would be why. Okay. Okay, so there's the action, and then we need yeah, to add the reducer. So I think in this case, we can throw it inside of movies reducer. That's where it would make the most sense, I think. So if you're like wondering, where does it make sense to add this particular case? Like we could have added it to movies reducer or selected movie reducer. I guess in this particular case, it doesn't matter too much because add movie itself as an action requires has no need for any sort of state. And so because if you recall, the reason we separated out movies reducer and selected movie reducer is because they require different pieces of the central state. And so with add movie, it doesn't really matter because again, it doesn't require any state from Redux. And so you could just throw it in, I think, either of one of these. But I guess because we're adding a movie to the movies array, it makes slightly more sense to put it in here, even though it doesn't actually matter. Okay, what add movie is not defined, right? Okay, so I think that should have worked. Let's see. 0, 1, 2. Okay, so we can start at 3. Let's add in Spirited Away. Metascore, obviously 100, because that movie is fucking perfect. I don't remember who stars in it, though. Oh, man, I don't remember at all. Let's look this up real quick. Let's see. Santochiro, produced by written star Rumi Hiragi. Sure. Niyu Irino. We'll just add in 2 and add the movie. Did that work? Well, one way to find out. It looks like the fields didn't all get cleared, which is kind of strange. But let's see. It did not work. Okay, let's see what happened. Movie form. Movie, new movie. What did I forget? Spelled value wrong on 2 lines. Which file are you talking about? Ah, okay. Good catch. That's okay. So it didn't read those.
Sean, doesn't forget to pass the object in the body. You are not passing the object in the body that you are posting to the server.
Inside of actions? The action.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That would do it. Come on. What are you doing? All right, let's try that again. Three. What are the names again? Because this is obviously important. Okay. Now, go back to the movies. Yep. Oh, shit. Darn it. Stars map is not a. This again. Why is this happening again? What if we go to a different movie?
Looks like you're not. Looks like you are not passing as an array. We are passing like on a string.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that's right. That is right. Movie form. So what we can do is, okay, so what we could do is do this manually and do
You can just set the e.target.value to be rounded from
oh yeah, yeah. So we can do
array, but it will cause that will not be exactly an array. We will be a single value. It will print like with one value, but that doesn't matter. Just to see it happen.
Yeah, I think this will be fine. Let's see.
You need to create again.
Create what?
A new movie.
Oh, really?
You just changed the function that will submit to the movie. So you need to create a new movie, like another one.
Okay. All right, let's do a different movie. Let's do I know one person who stars in this. Let's just try that. Oh, it's still there. Oh.
No, that will not work because you applied the same ID, so it will get the first ID with 3.
I mean, for our illustration purposes here, that's fine. It's still running into the same issue.
You can see in the React state if you want. There you illustrate too. Oh, inside of the component, in the third level. Oh, it's not rendered, it's SOD. The selected movie is in write state. In the right to have the selected movie state. Okay, so you can see that it's not coming an array, but that is all the problem. It's just because it's not coming an array. You just change it to don't map and to work. If you want to quickly fix, go to the movies.
Yeah, here, I'll get rid of this. But I guess what I wanted to do was inside of the input. So we would input, give it like give it a string with all the different stars, and then it would submit that as a.
Just put a new ID because you created with 3 the ID to number 3 the last movie. Create a new movie with ID 4 that will work. And put anything in the fields just to see.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's return div stars is stars you target. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I want. There's movie details. No, it's this one. Okay, now it says an array. Okay, cool. Okay, anyone have any questions on anything? I guess that's maybe the problem with watching an instructor live code. It's like kind of difficult to interrupt them. But okay, doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. Okay, the solution code is already up on GitHub in the solution branch and this repo if you guys want to reference that again later. Oh, Tig wants me to talk about middleware. What about it? Do you have like a specific question? Just simple overview of what it does. I didn't grasp that this sprint. Yeah, for middleware, I think right now, all you really need to know about middleware is pretty much the way we've been using it right now is just as something that you can drop into Redux to kind of provide more functionality for you as the developer. So it never actually affects the user, right? Like all it does is it makes your life as a developer easier in certain ways. Because if you think again about what Redux Promise is giving you, it is what allows you to, once you apply this middleware to Redux, that is the software that's allowing you to write your actions in this way. So if you kind of think about, you know, how you would have to do this without Redux Promise, and that would be difficult for sure because Redux Promise is abstracting away all of the stuff that's getting handled by when you make like an Axios call and you don't necessarily yet have all the data. Because we're making this Axios call and then we're just immediately saying return this promise inside the payload. But then again, in reducers, we just have it as you know, as action payload data, whereas here it was action payload promise, right? So basically, what Redux the promise middleware is doing is you're just specifying the promise that you want executed asynchronously inside of the action. And then once it gets to the reducers, I think the reducers are now able to know to wait on this data from the promise. So it's abstracting that asynchronous behavior away under the hood in this particular case.
Sure. Can we link the middleware action as out of the concept, okay, out of the box concept as a sandbox or a VM that emulates an action and pass back to the Redux? It's like it creates a kind of sandbox, executes the function and pass back to Redux without having asynchronous problems.
Is that like a site?
Oh, no, I mean like a place where Redux put the thing, it executes in an asynchronous time, and then it gets back to Redux without creating problems of concurrent executions.
So, okay, but is this like a different environment or something?
Kind of. I'm asking if it's possible to relate to a kind of a different environment, another place, another stack where Redux put, oh, you need to execute this. So this abstract concept executes the thing and pass back to Redux, avoiding concurrent executions.
I don't actually know, to be honest. I'm not sure if something like that exists, probably, but I definitely do know that I think Redux is definitely one of the easier frameworks to work with when you're trying to perform a lot of asynchronous stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not totally sure, but from what I've worked with, it's definitely easier to work with asynchronous executions in Redux than with something like Angular or PHP for sure. um, yeah, I don't really know, but Ty, you should definitely, if you haven't already, take a look at like the Redux's middleware documentation. I know maybe it might be difficult to parse, but yeah, they run through a bunch of different stuff that you can use middleware to kind of achieve, right? So you can also think of it as you can also think of the thing where we didn't set it up here, but in other Redux projects, we've had it where inside of um, when we initialize our provider inside of our Redux, then we pass it like window Redux dev tools and stuff like that. You can think of that as an also like a kind of middleware that you hand over to the store, and it gives you that additional functionality of now inside of the dev tools, you have all this extra logging that is super helpful. So really, I guess at this point, you can just think of middleware as developer tools that you kind of drop into Redux to help you as a developer and help you with your development experience to do stuff more easily.
Hey, I would like to add something. In the last call, I told of my 200 watches in the tutorial of Egghead Redux. And that concept of abstraction of multiple components, this concept of middleware and dispatching and plugging things in Redux, everything is aborted in these third movies. You should watch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times until you can write down without watching the movie. You will get the concept absolutely. You will get the concept. Just watch this. If 100 times, 200, 300 times.
Fair enough. I mean, that'll probably happen with anything, not just with Redux. But yeah, that's a good idea for sure. Okay, so I've kept you guys way past your lunch. Let me see. On the calendar next week. Yeah, you guys have your Ryan is slated to give you guys your next sprint at 1. So you should probably, I don't know if that will be moved back. Probably not. So okay. Seems like you guys are okay with that. Praise spaced repetition. Okay, I'm going to end this here, and you guys have 27 minutes until your next lecture. All right, thanks for sticking that out with me, guys. I hope that was helpful, and see you guys later.